Hey y'all, my name is Lonnie if there's your very first time here, and welcome to my YouTube channel. On here we do everything faith, lifestyle, beauty, travel, and if that's something you're interested in, stay tuned. Today I'm going to be sharing a testimony on how the Lord has truly preserved me and how he has formed me to the woman of God that I am today. Let's get into it. And this one's juicy. This one's really juicy. So I just want to add that usually I just sit in front of the camera and record, but this time I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do my makeup because I find myself looking around a lot when I'm recording and I don't like that. So yeah, I'm going to stimulate my mind while I share with y'all a testimony. Okay, so before we start, I need to put something on these lips because these things is dry. You hear me? Dry. Okay, so I found this butter gloss. It's probably not going to do much, but it'll do a little something, something. I do not like how that looks. That is too pigmented. That's not how to work it though. So I just primed my face with primer. So I'm going to go in with some foundation. I literally use one skirt and I put it all over my face. So yeah, y'all. I was in 9th grade and I was living with my stepmom at the time because the house that I was living in with my mom and my grandmother and my uncles and all of us, it went into foreclosure. And yeah, so my nana had to move, everybody had to move. My nana was living with my aunt, my siblings went to go live with my auntie, and I had to live with my stepmom. Me and my stepmom ended up getting into it for whatever reason. I think it was a family member being messy or something like that, but whatever, so we move on. It was part of the process. My stepmom ended up kicking me out, so I had to go live with my mama. And that wasn't good because my mama didn't have nowhere to live. She was still living in the foreclosed home with my nana. And this home didn't have no lights, it didn't have no water. It didn't have nothing. So she was living there. So I had no choice but to live there with her. She didn't have a job and she was selling food stamps to get a little money to be able to get us some food. She didn't have a car, so I wasn't able to get to school. So I missed like 2 to 3 months of school, which I'm surprised they didn't send HRS because like what? That was a blessing in itself. So I missed 2-3 months in school. I was a straight A student. So I ended up having all Fs. So I had to literally go to school and get my grades up while I can, just for me to have to keep missing school because, again, my mom didn't have a car. So she used to try to get me to school whenever she could. Or ask my nana to get me to school or however, whatever. So long story short, y'all, yes, I was living with my mama and we was in this foreclosed home. It had rats, it had roaches, it had everything y'all could think of. It was 2-story. And my mama had grew up in this house and I pretty much grew up in it too as a kid, but still nobody wants to live like that. So not only that, but my nana friend, she was a little weird. Her and her kids ain't have nowhere to go. So they was living in a foreclosed home with us too. And my mama, again, she didn't have a job. So whenever she used to get a little money here and there, she used to try to get us food, like non-perishable items. And my mama got me some donuts. Tell me why the freaking lady, my nana friend that was living with us, then gave my donuts to the rats. Talking about she wanted to see if we really had rats for real. We're like, we told you, like my nana been living in this house over 20 years. We told you that this house had rats. What is you giving away my food for? Like we barely got it as it is. So that was that. So my mama had to freaking scrape up change, beg and borrow to get us more food because they was eating it too. which we know, we understand, we all on hard times, but dang. So that was that, right? So my mom had these friends down the street. We used to always go down there. We call it the yard. None of them offered to be like, dang, like you got your baby with you. Like you could stay with me till you get on your feet, or y'all could at least come shower. None of that, except for this one lady. And people could say what they want to say about her, but I pay my respects. And her name was, she had a daughter named Destiny. My heart. We don't talk every day. We don't really see each other. But if Destiny ever need anything and I got it, I got her. This girl literally used to sneak me into her house because they was living with their grandma at the time. And their grandma didn't like people into, like, in her house. So she used to like sneak me over so I could take showers. And sometimes she'll let me stay the night so that I don't have to sleep down there with my mama where it's dark. Like, so she really looked out when she could. But like, we used to be hanging out at the yard and stuff like that with my mama's friends. And mind you, all these people had houses. They had cars. Like, they could have helped us if they wanted to, but they didn't. And that's okay. But so she was hanging out down there or whatever, and they had these kids. And the kids, I mean, it was just like a drought. Like, nobody really had it. They was living in the projects and stuff like that, but still, like, you could have helped out. So as you can see, the background is a little different. We had to relocate because I just wasn't comfortable filming downstairs. I'm not really comfortable filming up here either, but the show has to go on. So yeah, so I call them my cousins. I love my cousins to death, but they didn't really have it like that either. So my mama literally will scrape up money to buy us like Cubans at the little corner store, and like they will literally eat our food. They would literally eat our food, and it's like I felt bad because, like, I don't want to say it, but I mean, their mothers wasn't the best parents, so I mean, they kind of had to like get it how they live. And they used to like eat our food, ask us for our food and stuff like that, sneak and eat it, and so on and so on. So anyways, we end up just thugging it out at the abandoned house. If I couldn't go down there to Destiny house, I would my mama we will fill up these water bottles, or these not water bottles but water jugs at like parks, and sometimes down there they'll let us fill it up. And yeah, we'll just fill it up, we'll put it in the sun, let it heat up, and then we'll go in there in the bathroom and take showers. And prior to even all of this, we literally used to live in a house with no hot water. Literally, like, we had to boil. This is when all of us was living there, me, my nana, my uncles, all of us. We literally had to like boil hot water, let it cool down, and then take showers out of pots that we cooked in. Baby, listen, like, it was something. And then yeah, so that was that. Then my mom had this friend that she shared our circumstance with, and she lived in Georgia at the time. And she came, she picked us up, we moved to Georgia, and that was a whole nother situation. When people say you never know a person until you live with them, believe them. So that was a whole nother situation. Now, I'm grateful that she drove all the way down here to pick us up, but baby, how she treated us was insane. Like, we would literally be in the kitchen eating, and she would cut the lights off on us while we're eating. Like, why are you being nasty? Whatevs. So anyways, my mama will be sitting on the porch, and my mama, she'll be like, it's all right. She's like, it's all right, I'm gonna get me a job. And she was like, I'm gonna get on my feet. She was just like, we only gotta endure this for a little bit. She was like, don't be arguing with the lady, because y'all, out my mouth, I was a firecracker. Like, you not finna talk to my mama like that. So she was like, we gotta endure this for just a season. And she was like, I'm gonna get me a job. And she was like, we gonna be out of here. Mark my words. My mama ended up getting her a job. And the lady low-key tried to sabotage that. She wouldn't take us to the store. Like, she was just being real nasty. And I was low-key thinking, like, why did you low-key save us if you was gonna be nasty? But whatever. You know, I'm grateful that that situation was way better than what we was living in prior. So whatever. We couldn't take long showers. We had to hurry up, take showers, but it was a whole thing. But this video is not to sabotage her or anything like that, because again, like, I'm grateful because that's way better than living in a abandoned house. So I was going to school with her daughter and stuff like that, and mom ended up getting her an apartment real soon, and I was living with my mama. And then for some time, then she called for my siblings to come up because she like got on her feet. And then after that, we were just up there for some time. And then I have a story time on how that played a part, because we was up there for like a year or two maybe. And then something else transpired to where I'm down here now. And it's been almost 10 years. So yeah. And don't mind my nail. This is foundation, okay? This is foundation, not what y'all think it is. But we literally we were struggling. We used to be squatting, if y'all know what that means. If you're from Florida, you probably know what that means. But we literally used to be squatting in these different houses and stuff like that. And I guarantee you, every month, hair always done. I'm talking about always had a fresh do, like fitted. But my living situation was like horrible. Like, my friends never would have knew that I came home and I didn't have lights. My friends never would have knew that I came home and I didn't have water. Or I had water, but it wasn't cold. I had to heat it up on the stove. Or sometimes I had to take like really cold showers. Like, how I used to go to school, you would never think that that was my living situation. And I always made a vow. And I know that stems from my mama not really having much kids, so she wanted to give us the best of the best. But I made a vow, like, my kids, if I ever have a daughter, she gonna love her natural hair. You ain't finna be trying to get these bust down middle parts and we don't have lights or we don't have water. Like, our priorities is definitely gonna be in order, and you just gonna have to figure it out. But you know, this is not to bash my mom or anything like that, because I really do appreciate her. You know, she was trying. She was just trying to give us the life that, you know, she could. And hopefully she learned. But yeah, so that was that. I just want to say, if you ever find yourself in a situation where you don't think that it's pleasant, just know that somebody has had it way worse than you. Way worse. And if it's kids watching this video, do not bully people. Like, you never know what people was going through. You never know. Like, when I went to school, missing 2 and 3 months of school, like, people didn't know the half of what I was going through. But you know what? I don't regret it. I'm very grateful for everything, every opportunity, because now I could survive in a tent. I will be okay. Like, I've lived without lights. I lived without water. Like, I'd be okay. Like, I know how to survive. And I'm just so grateful, you know? Some people will look at that as a crutch and be like, oh my goodness, my life. But everybody has a story. Like, please don't feel bad for me in the comments. Everybody has a story. And I use my story to give God the glory, the honor, and the praise. Because how I live now is nowhere near like how I used to live. So very, very, very grateful. Every time I'm able to take a warm shower, I be thanking the Lord, because I remember whereas times where I didn't have warm water, you know? So very, 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 very grateful. And then I just want to add that I remember when I never even thought it was possible to live luxury. Like, I thought only white people lived like this, which is so sad. I didn't know that black people could live in nice neighborhoods. I didn't think that that would be my reality. And the Lord definitely has showed up. He has showed out. I am married, happily married. I am young. I am a believer. I go to church. I go to work. I pay my bills on time. I mind my business. And I just live my life. I don't be in no mess. And I can ask the Lord for a better life. I am just so grateful and so thankful for what the Lord has done for me. Like, and sometimes I be sitting back and I be thinking, I be looking at my siblings, because, you know, my siblings, they live a whole nother life than I do. They don't. I have a brother that's in prison. I have a sister. My heart goes out to them. They're definitely in my prayers. But I'm just super grateful that the Lord chose me to be his sheep. Like, I tell him that all the time. Sometimes I be questioning him. I be like, Lord, out of all my family members, like, why me? Like, why did you choose me out of all my family members? Like, you could have chose my cousins. You could have chose anybody, but you chose me. Like, and I still really don't know the answer, but I'm grateful. You know, I'm so grateful. I am so grateful the Lord has brought me so far. From seeing my mom being abused, from living with no lights, no waters, having to light candles, having to bathe out of jugs, having to live in abandoned houses with rats and roaches, and the Lord has kept me. He has definitely preserved me. And for that, I give him the praise, I give him the glory, and I give him the honor, because I could not be here today. I done been in a car accident, all kind of stuff, and I am still here giving him the praise. I was actually off today. I wanted to be rubbing my feet together, but I felt the Holy Spirit nudge me. Let me wash my hands, because this is disgusting. I don't want y'all to think that it's that up under my fingernails. I'm literally tripping, y'all. I didn't put no highlight on. Like, what? Like I was saying, I felt the Holy Spirit nudge me and tell me to get up and make a video telling my testimony. Now, mind you, I did not want to. I've been working 12-hour shift these days, and your girl is tired, okay? But I also know that obedience is better than sacrifice. And when the Lord tell you to do something, it is for your good. So I'm glad that I did it. Now let's get into the rest of the video. Oh my God, it's so cute, right? Thank you so much for taking your time out and hanging out with your girl, listening to my testimony, and I'll see y'all in my next one. Bye.